Litepanels are really great products. They're smart lights. They're designed by working professionals for other professionals. So it's a light that makes sense on location, that is easy to use and reliable. I use them all over the world. They travel well. They run on battery power. They draw very little wattage, so you can get a lot of mileage out of your batteries, your camera batteries. They're true color daylight balanced, so you can rely on the color temperature. They're dimmable. They just make sense. So Litepanels, they make a series of lights, and they're really smart lights. They're designed by gaffers for working professionals like me. I take them all over the world. They travel well. They weigh next to nothing. They draw very little power, and so I can use them in situations where if I don't have AC, I can get a nice clean light on location for, very little amount of power. Recently I was in Madagascar on a shoot, and Madagascar is a pretty poor country, and once you get away from the cities there is no power. And I was doing a story about these silk weavers who work inside making these wonderful scarves out of raw silk. And so I had two lights by Litepanels. I had a 1x and a Solar 4, and with the ambient daylight coming through the windows and those two lights, I was able to pretty much shoot in every situation. And I only had a certain amount of batteries I could bring with me. So as well as my camera, powering my camera, my monitor, and my lights, I was able to get through an entire day on about 8 batteries, I think it was. The nice thing about the Solar 4 is it's an LED light that mimics a Fresnel, which gives you a different feel, a focusable light, than just a big broad light like comes out of a salt box or a 1x panel. So it's a different light that a lot of us are used to using in the tungsten fashion, but tungsten lights draw a lot of power, and they're hot, which is a bit of a drag. You have to wait for them to cool off before you can move them around, and they're heavy and whatnot. So this is a very lightweight Fresnel-based light. It has a dimmer in it that's true color temperature dimmer, so when you take it down to half power, it doesn't lose its color temperature. And you can adjust the amount of output from it, and it actually draws very little power. It's a 30-watt draw for what is about, I don't know, a 650 tungsten. So you get a big bang for the buck out of this little light, and it's really smart and functional, and it's my new favorite light. Litepanels has a bunch of little mini lights, and they're ideal for stick-ups. I rarely put a light on the front of the camera. That's not my thing, but I'll mount them all over the place, and they weigh nothing. You put AA batteries in them, and they have dimmers. They're color temperature spot on, and if not, you can drop little gels. And I've had them in helicopters. I've had them in cars. I've had them all over the place, and they're really handy. And when was the last time I had 3 Litepanels in a cave, and I had to belly crawl into this place. There's no way I was getting anything else in there. And I made the whole day work on 3 lights, and they were all Litepanels, so I was pretty jazzed about that. I just got back from Madagascar. I was shooting in these villages. There was no power, so I couldn't even bring a light kit because there's no place to plug it in. I brought a 1x1 panel, and I brought a Solar 4, and I made everything work with daylight and 2 daylight balanced lights on Anton Bauer batteries, and I got through 2 weeks of shooting on all that, and it was great. I mean, impressive.